Hello guys, can you hear me? Yes, you can. I hope everyone had a little bit of lunch. Who's tired? Yeah, me too, me too. So this is my second presentation. I had a bigger one yesterday. Today was more like someone offered me a second slot. So what I present today is maybe a little bit too simple for you guys, but still, let's have a look. Open Telemetry, I am pretty sure everyone knows kind of what it is, but why do we do this actually? First of all, oh, wait, that is not my clicker. This is my clicker. So yeah, this is me before COVID. See, that happened later, okay. I work for SolarWinds and I'm a tech evangelist. So I talk about random things and sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Now, we use Open Telemetry and a couple of other things for one super important topic, and that is APM, Application Performance Monitoring. I guess everyone knows why we do this. Very simple. Our businesses can't work if IT doesn't function anymore. I tend to say that back in the days, IT supported the business, but nowadays, IT runs the business. Without guys like you, businesses couldn't exist. And it's quite often the case that a business uses maybe a web store or something like that. And when they don't use any form of observability or APM, they probably don't even realize what potential is being wasted. Like a couple of years back, when we went shopping, we went into a store, 9 to 5, bought a pair of shoes, whatever. Today, we live in a 24/7 world, and the arch enemy is the human attention span. I'm pretty sure you agree with me. It gets smaller, 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 and no one has patience anymore. If an application, if a website doesn't work, isn't fast enough, we move on. We go to the next vendor, so we are lost for the business. So it is super critical that each organization has some form of APM or observability in general. That's the reason we would do this, and this is the reason why we need a proper solution that uses proper protocols. There's a lot going on here, but I'm pretty sure if you look a little bit at the charts in the background, this is like an environment that could be yours. Something decentralized, something hybrid. You have a couple of workloads on-prem, you have a couple of workloads in the cloud. That's the reality. But everything is super dynamic, so the way it looks like right now might look completely different in half an hour. That's how the world works. And many of these entities use a different language when we talk about observability. Again, many, many years in the past, it was very simple. We used a protocol like SNMP to talk to a network device. When we talked to a server, we had a choice between WMI in the Windows world or a combination between SSH and SNMP for Linux. That was it. We didn't have anything and we didn't need anything else. But nowadays, this just doesn't do it anymore. There are so many different things out there, hardware, software, hyperscalers, anything, and pretty much everyone has their own CLI. And we don't have time to learn all of this. And even for a software vendor like SolarWinds, it is very difficult to implement all these different technologies into one system so it can be understood. Now, the smart guys, the guys we are here for, the Cloud Native Foundation, came up with Open Telemetry, and it's based on these 4 important pillars. And I guess you guys know them too, right? Usually, when I talk to an audience that might be mixed IT, I have to explain a couple of things here, but I suppose everyone is aware of that. That is the data that is important for application performance monitoring. Okay? We pull metrics, usually, oh, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah. We pull metrics in a specific frequency. So each couple of minutes, we pull this or this or this, whatever is important. There's a couple of exceptions. In AWS, for example, we have streaming, so it comes automatically. Events are asynchronous, so when anything happens, it will be sent. Same for logs. And traces, obviously, is the most complicated one. That's the information that happens inside an application. So we use yes, we use SolarWinds. We are SolarWinds. We use Open Telemetry for quite a while, and like with any other open source, if a commercial vendor like us uses open source, we should give something back to the community. Otherwise, you would be a bad company, right? So we are one of the top 25 contributors. I checked 2 weeks ago, we were on place number 19, but that's really if there's a commit here or there, right? So the number might change a little bit. We have 2 guys who are quite popular in this space. Doesn't work, sorry. They are the official approvers. And we looked at the Open Telemetry basic agents in 2022, so around about 3 years ago. We used it, and we decided that we can do a little bit more with it, because the information that we want to pull from systems for our customers just wasn't enough for Open Telemetry. So we kind of pimped the agent a little bit and built something around it and just used it into our system. But again, it is open source, so all the additions that we created are available in the framework. We use it for a couple of different things. And the most important one here is host monitoring, I would say. I have an example for that in my next screen. So host monitoring, we have something that we call Network Collector. Basically, our observability platform exists in 2 versions. By the way, who here does not know SolarWinds? Okay, a couple of people. All right. So we are an observability vendor, and we grew up in the world of network monitoring. But for the last 10 years, we do pretty much anything in observability. Our mission is we look at a typical IT department, and there is like network engineers, cloud architects, server admins, whatever. And as you probably know from your own jobs, when something breaks, the first question is not how to fix it, but who has to fix it, right? Everyone is like, not my problem. And that's causing a lot of friction. And we bring all the information from all parts of IT together, and we bring people together too, as we show where a problem is located. Now, we use information, or we collect information from an on-prem infrastructure, the same way as any kind of cloud. We have an out-of-the-box integration to all the popular cloud guys, and anything else that's not available out of the box can be made compatible with APIs. When we talk about host monitoring, this is how it looks like. This is a simple example of an instance in AWS. So what we do is we deploy an agent, and the agent converts all local metrics into Open Telemetry data and forwards it into our platform. Okay? So any kind of operating system, let's call it operating system. This can be an AWS example. This could very well be something that sits somewhere in a data center or in the rack in your office, whatever it is. So it's completely independent of the infrastructure that sits below it. Here's a slightly different example. This one here is from a virtualization layer. It could be Kubernetes, could be anything else. So Kubernetes obviously is a little bit more simple because it talks Open Telemetry just from the start. Here we have a little bit of VMware and Nutanix. They don't understand this, so we need to use their API and translate it into Open Telemetry, and again, send it on so we can do a little bit more with it. What do we do then? This one here is something interesting. At the very left-hand side, we see all the data that comes in from Open Telemetry. Again, we see the metrics, the events, etc., etc. But just collecting doesn't really cut it anymore, okay? We live in 2025. So what do we do with all the data? And the advantage is in using a protocol like OTel, where everything is already pretty much baselined. You know, when you use AI, you need to have clean data, same for automation. And Open Telemetry allows us to get access to clean data very quickly, instead of using 20 different protocols. So we use this for analysis, We have a couple of decision engines over there. We use some form of machine learning. We use regression models to compare different data for spotting anomalies. And this is all based on something very, very simple like Open Telemetry. That's in the system. Now, the good thing is when you are using any kind of hyperscaler, it's already there. But when you create your own applications, in that case, you should spend a little bit time to make it working with Open Telemetry. For AWS, it's relatively simple. When you support CloudWatch, you support Open Telemetry. It's pretty much the same concept. I'm not an Azure expert, but I guess they have something very, very similar. So this is basically the future. It is a relative new protocol if you consider the things in IT. I think it was being created in 2021 or something, and it's kind of on rolling releases. So there's a lot more to come, and this is just the start. Oh, just 3 more minutes. I think I'm fine. A few more things. So you will find the GitHub to OTel, which is very interesting when you code your stuff, so you can have a look how it works and how you can contribute to the system. And particularly when you guys are freelancers, maybe someone is a freelancer and looking for opportunities, that is a very good idea to contribute to this project. This is something for the future, and it can help yourself to make a name in the community. There's a little bit of our solutions, and if you want to see how it actually works in the real world, you can visit us upstairs. Yesterday, I had a more practical example and was showing something. This is how it looks like. We have it in black, we have it in white, okay? This is our solution, and we use Open Telemetry here from A to B. So if you're interested in how it works, you can join us upstairs. Just a staircase, we are there. Hey, still 2 more minutes left. Anyone with a question? No? Oh my God, okay. At least no one was falling asleep. At least I can't see anyone sleeping here. That's very good. Well, picture. Thank you for making your time here in your break.